I've finally done up my craft and filming studio. From white space to in your face, this week I'll show you around my brand spanking new room with some sneaky peeks of things I've been working on too. I was so excited to show you, I forgot to film an intro, so let's jump right in. So this is not important at all, but I was just really proud of it. Look, it's holding my business card. So I have actually never had a sewing machine set up that is permanently set up. So I actually only learned how to use a sewing machine a couple of years ago, and ever since then, I just sort of pull it out every time I need it and work on the coffee table, as you've seen. Now it is permanently set up, which is so awesome. So I am super, super excited about that. Not to be dramatic or anything. I have set up my sketchbook and all my pencils. I haven't been doing a lot of drawing lately. I have been doing a lot of making lately. So yeah, I always do love to get back into the drawing when I can. I made this sash for my short film, The Death of Miss Diva. I actually had to make, I think there was 7 of us. So I had to make 7 sashes, and I think it was something ridiculous, like 9 hours. I sat there hand cutting out all these freaking letters and attaching them because, you know, that's just the normal thing that you do when you're making a short film with 0 budget. I used Evie glitter foam sheets for these, which, as you know, I am a huge fan of. Go get every color except don't, because I use it, and if it sells out, I'm coming for you. We actually have Madam here. Now all my mannequins are called Madam. I could, you know, get creative. Not my usual style, but no, they're all named Madam. All the heads are named Madam. And your name is Madam, and that's it. Now this cage, it looks really, really cool, right? So this company that I bought it from had a DIY sort of kit, and they knocked like $300 off the price or something if you ended up building it yourself. It was actually really, really disappointing. All the instructions came for it in Russian, so I actually ended up having to put this together just looking at a photo of it. So I did a pretty good job. What they also didn't tell you was that you need a very specific kind of battery to charge it. So she beautifully lit up red one time, and I did get all the necessary batteries and chargers and equipment and that, and guess what? The charger won't charge the battery that it needs. So you know what, she's just going to be an inanimate kind of unlight up thing for now. But yeah, it was one of the more expensive costume pieces I actually bought as well, so I was actually quite disappointed with that. But look, when life gives you lemons, drink the Kool-Aid. Alrighty, so this is really, really exciting to me because you all know I love to be organized. I have a whiteboard up on the wall now. So this is fantastic because I can write down reminders for myself. I love, love, love my whiteboard. The most exciting thing in the entire room, the whiteboard. Da, 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 da. I have been working on, you know, just a few new hats. I hand painted all of these, and I'm very, 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 very proud of them. So every year or so when I have some time, I do try to get some stock together. So I've got stock on hand should I do a markets, or if any competitions are going on that I donate prizes to, I've got stock on hand to be able to go and do that. So I will be popping these on my online store soon, lady-hart.com. And yeah, this one's mine. No one else is getting this one. This one's mine. Now, you may have seen me rage build the big coffin prop from Halloween into this awesome coffin shelf, and she's holding together really well. And I've started to put in all the little special things from you guys. So I've got lovely little things from Janelle back here, lots of little notes, and this very, very special hat that is up on the top is probably one of actually my most favorite possessions and absolutely one of my favorite hats. This hat was gifted to me from the burlesque community when I was going through a particularly bad time in my life, and oh, I'm getting emotional about it now. But yeah, everyone pitched in and got me this hat, and yeah, this was made by an amazing milliner named Lisa. I will link her in the description below because she makes absolutely incredible hats. And all right, I felt like the wall was not getting enough love up in the green room. So I've brought it down here, and of course I still haven't finished some sections of it, but that is the whole point. Like tattoos, you add to them over time as your story continues. This is sort of my grown-up homage to my posted walls of my teenage youth. Now, this was originally going to be my like gig bag because it is so freaking like handy and you can take the sections off one by one, but it is incredibly cumbersome. So the one and only time I actually ever used it was I was doing a gig I was hosting in the Blue Mountains, and I had packed it all full of my costumes and all my traveling stuff and things like that. And then I arrive at the station, and the train is one of those rickety old ones where you have to pry apart the doors yourself. And suddenly I'm like screaming at this teenager. I say screaming and everyone's going to like jump on me and be like, are you attacking teenagers? I'm like, no, I was very passionately, I'm like, can you help me? Can you help me get this off? Because there's the matter of urgency as like it's about to take off on the train. So yes, that's how I was helped getting that off the train, and we won't be using this for a gig bag ever again. However, it is absolutely fantastic for just being over here because I've got everything I need. I've got my little microphones, these all open out, can move, it's on wheels as well, so it's got all my glues in it. In the top, I've sort of popped things that I use sort of really frequently. Like I've got my pins, I've got glue guns, things like that, safety pins, because it's always, you always want your pins in close reach because you'll end up, it's like Twister, it's like craft and costume Twister. You'll be holding something together and you'll need a pin really badly. And you're like, uh-oh, hang on, maybe I can jigger it with my feet. You know, it's a craft dance, patent pending. I haven't even talked about the two podiums yet. You can't really see this one, but the podiums. Okay, so I built this podium coffin and this stand here, which has sort of 3 coffin panels. You might be able to see just a little bit of it. So I actually made these because last year I had this entire idea that I was going to do a Halloween game show, and then I ended up doing, what was it, like freaking 3 Halloween specials or something. And so by the time we got round to sort of filming, for like getting ready to film for the game show kind of thing, I was like, this is only half-baked idea and I don't want to sort of just throw something together. It needs more attention. And then I was going to reuse them for something big this year, another game show. But unfortunately, many of my contestants either moved away or had massive life things kind of happen to them. So they are on hold. I think we're gonna have to, it's gonna have to be this Halloween. It's got, like, I do have a little bar hidden behind here, but look, I look so good behind a podium. Yeah, the other one was for either the contestants or judges to sit behind. So I had it all going on, and yeah, it's just gonna have to wait. I have then put, these are actually all the, yeah, other than this one, these are all the hats I've made so far this year. So that's pretty awesome. This is a lie. This needs hardcore repairs. So we're not even looking at that. We have, you know, the actual working things. So this does not stay this neat, trust me. So again, more stash spots. This is one of my favorite things to do, is to just shove bits into tubs pretty much. And there's things like ribbons in there, there's bows, there's little hands, like there's so many different things. These are the things that you can pick through and use for, you know, future costume pieces or anything that you think it might be good for in the future. So it's always good to sort of save well, I say that, I might be a hoarder, I don't know, you tell me. Nicely. And then I've got like all my paints, I've got my glitters, I've got, oh my God, my puppets, okay. So this was a prototype and it sucks, but I didn't actually have the correct materials. But I've been working on some hand puppets, and so I've got to get the foam, so this is why it's sitting in completely like the wrong position. But picture it's all round and looks really great. But yeah, so your hand goes in here. So once I make that with the proper materials, that's going to be really cool. That was a tutorial that I took from the internet, and the reason I don't really like to follow patterns that you can find on the internet is because I find you actually have to end up making like a bunch of adjustments to it. So as you can see, I've put in that, you know, the cut should be more open so that people with bigger hands can be able to fit in and things like that. That did end up working, and then I ended up coming up with my own that will actually work once I've got the correct materials. And speaking of puppets, this is also, I built this a couple of years ago. This is Sandy the sandworm. So that was like a Beetlejuice sandworm I made. And so yeah, I felt like I've been in quite a puppet mood lately. I was doing all this work a few weeks ago, just before we wrapped up everything for Easter. And as soon as I had finished all that work and I had a moment of rest, my brain started going, let's build a puppet theater. And then I was like, let's build all the puppets to go in the puppet theater. So yeah, puppets are coming. Lastly, my very own catwalk. It's yoga mats. But helps me feel like a model, so it works. And since that just about wraps us up for my new craft room, I'd say that calls for cake. I'll see you next week. You're all doomed. Doomed. Doomed.